Hi, this is Aquarius Tranquility back again. This is video number 2, I believe, in region details and like what to do with the region once you get it, and a little bit of build information. So we were going through region setups. We just dropped this raw terrain file onto your land and made it into a island. So we're on the region tab. Let's say you have 10 different parcels parceled off, but you want everybody to get the same message all of a sudden in the region. Send message to region, type something like whatever you're trying to type in, testing. Okay, and in your normal chat, there's your region information, the message you just sent. So if you have 10 parcels parceled off as rentals, everybody will see the message that you just typed in. And of course, only estate managers and owners can actually use that feature. You can kick everybody out if you feel like it. Terrain is where we just edited terrain. I showed you how to do that in the previous video. And environment, you can change your water. Let's say you want the default water, whatever waters you want, fixed data. You want it to be some kind of, there we go, default. See how that changed all in the background? Apply it, debug. Say you're having script problems, some script is really throwing off a lot of errors, disable scripts, and then you can try to find the problem and get rid of it. If you want to know where your top scripts are coming from, you click that. And for me, because I'm the only one in here right now and the only object in here right now, Athena mesh body. So that's what's giving, it's not a problem, it's just saying that that is what has the most scripts. That's how you find that. You can find it through world region debug setting. I think there's another area. No. Okay. World region details. Okay, that's where you get it from. That's how you restart your region. Now, your regions, we don't have a website set up yet where you can actually hard restart your region, which means take it offline completely and restart it, which is the best way to restart a region, is to have it taken offline completely. That way you don't have things accidentally moving. When you come back and you see that something's moved out of space, it's usually because you're doing in-world region restarts. It is important to do that sometimes if you've done a lot of building and it's not time for a grid restart yet, which is usually once a week. You can do a soft restart through your Firestorm, and I'm sure Singularity Alpha as well. You can do a region restart. If you want to restart it fast and be able to come back to it, just do 60 seconds or whatever. Default is 120 seconds, which is 2 minutes. And quickly pour it out somewhere, like to a welcome center or somewhere, because once it restarts, it'll knock you offline. So just go to Sandbox or somewhere else while it's being restarted. Give it 5 minutes and then come back. And stuff like that. That's how you restart your region in the world. When would you want to do that is if you've made a lot of changes. You've been building a lot, you've been terraforming a lot, and things are starting to get a little wacky. Then that could be one reason why, is that you just need to restart it and it'll refresh everything. Now, why do certain objects appear moved if you've done a soft restart? Well, because it wasn't completely taken offline, and it's usually physics related. If two objects are occupying the same exact space, and if there's physics on it, it's trying to push each other apart so that they don't collide. That's a collision-related, physics-related thing, and that's why when you do soft restart, some things have appeared moved. If they're phantom, then there is no collision stuff on it. But if you have a lot of things occupying the same space, you're going to have some stuff that looks out of place. And sometimes it just happens randomly anyway when you do soft restart. That's why hard restarts are the best. And only right now our hosting company can do it from the background. If you can't get into your region and you need a hard reset, we ask our hosting company to do that for you in the background. Hopefully one day we'll be able to have website access. Our hosting company is working on that, where you can actually do that yourself. A lot of times it doesn't really work, so that's why they don't usually do that. But you can do it in the world anyway yourself. I will go through some of these viewer features with you at some point. What they all are. Let me see how much recording time I actually have. 5 minutes left. Okay, let's quickly go through some of these buttons. It's still recording, good. What's in the avatar button? Camera controls is, this is what this is. Your camera controls. When you first install a viewer, you will need to pull out your camera controls. Avatar health, if you can't, let's say you're dancing and you can't seem to stop dancing even though you click stop dancing. How do you stop your animations? Avatar health, stop avatar animations. That's how you do that. Then if she'll stop moving, then you can continue doing whatever it is you were doing. Preferences is key. It's the number one thing that you'll be using a lot. These preferences, there's a better tutorial to watch created by Firestorm in SL. They were in SL actually doing the Firestorm tutorial. That's what I followed, and I was able to find out all the different features of all these things. I will try to go over it with you, especially the most important ones, but if you watch the SL one, and I'll put a link to that in the video when I do it, it's better to watch that because then you'll understand your viewer a lot better that way. Communications, a lot of information. You can fake your online status. No, this is not the fake away one. Online status unavailable, blah, blah, blah. There's all this stuff here. Block list, in case you don't know if you block somebody or not. There's an important one. It'll show up there if you did. World is where your region and parcel. These two differ. Region is your whole entire region. If you've made 10 different parcels to rent out, you check parcel by parcel. But this is for the whole region that we just went through. Parcel details shows about the particular parcel. Since there's nothing separated, this whole thing is a parcel right now. When you make a region name that you requested when you buy the land, that shows up here on Firestorm. That's on the left side. On the right side, you can call it something else, especially when you start separating out parcels. That's when you want to start naming them, right? So instead of Russell's home, your parcel, I can call it, I don't know, mainland, call it whatever. And there's rules of the region, the rating, objects. This is how you find out how many prims you've actually used and how many you have. This means 20,000 prims are available. Nothing's dropped here right now, so it's 0 objects. Other people have objects here, it'll show up here. The best way to do is just refresh this list and you'll see if anybody's dropped any objects here. You can return it to them really fast through this method as well. Options. This is very key here because a lot of people miss these things, that they don't realize why their ground's been moved and why objects have been dropped because they didn't go through these checks. Edit terrain. Right now, apparently everybody can come here and edit the terrain, which is like, that should not even be clicked. But that's based on the land, who the person who owned the land before obviously let that option be on, which means anybody can come here and start messing with your ground. You do not want that on ever. Fly, do you want everybody to be able to fly here or not? That's up to you. Build, you only really want your group members to be able to build here. In general, this is where you set the group. Let's say I want only members of Aqua's friends to be able to do anything here. So you set it and pick whichever group you want and set that group. So only those members groups will be able to drop objects here. And object entry, same thing. That's for resing objects. So build an object entry should be generally set to group only. Run scripts, everybody should be allowed to run scripts. So if you have friends come in there and they got some kind of a scripted body part feature, they won't be able to come in or whatever if you don't have that. No pushing should be selected. That's where I was talking about in the previous video, where some people made scripts, I think in SL, where they can actually, if you click on something, say a tree, it'll send you all the way across to the other side of the region. So you don't want that option on. You can still push each other around, but that's for like scripted pushers. Safe no damage means that things that have physics collision, let's say you keep hitting your car into a wall. If you don't have that clicked, then there's going to be like holes in the wall and everything. You're going to damage it. So you want that clicked generally by default.